Jerry Venn, and once again we are at Seekonk Speedway for our first race of the season. Last year, Tom, when we came here, we had a group of fine young rookies that did very, very well. Mike Johnson was one of them, and he's having a heck of a time this year as well.
He sure is. Actually, he's the points leader in Busch North after 2 races, 2 top 5 finishes. He says he thinks he's going to run here well tonight. Martin Truax is the other guy we're thinking of. He's also had 2 top 5 finishes in the first 2 races. These guys, even in their second year, are going after the championship. We're going to see if they can add to their success tonight.
Jerry Venn had a chance to catch up to our drivers into the pits. Jerry?
Thanks, Dave. We've got a lot of drivers here that started out the box real quick this year. We'll see if they can keep up that momentum. Tracy, you came out of the box real quick this year. Can you keep up that momentum?
We're really hoping to, because last year we came out really, really strong, and then we faded towards the mid part of the season, and we ended really strong. So if we can keep up the consistency this year, hopefully we can pull off this championship.
Mike, you started off the season real great this year. Can you keep up that momentum?
We hope so. Lot different than last year. Starting out, got some great guys behind me, some great setups, and the luck's been with us this year. We want to keep it up.
Thanks, Jerry. When we come back, the start of the Budweiser 150 from Seekonk Speedway on Speedway Heat. This is the second Budweiser 150 from Seekonk Speedway. The first time we were here was last year, Tom, and Dave Dion brought home a very important victory. That's where the man smiled for the next 6 months. Jerry Venn caught up with Dave down into the pits. Jerry?
Dave, last year you came back to Seekonk. You took the win. You sat in victory lane with Irene Vendetti. You dedicated the win to your mom. Can you repeat tonight?
You know, I'm always confident when I come to these small tracks because I like them so much, but I'm a realist, too. There's a lot of people that caught up this year. They learned from their mistakes last year, and I think they're our equal now. But I still feel I've got one of the best teams. I've got one of the best short tracks there is, and I truly love it. This is home to me, so yeah, I think we can do it. I think everything's in place, and if we have a little luck and I do my job, I think we can do it.
Thanks, Jerry, and this is going to be quite the race, Tom Ring. The second Budweiser 150. Of course, the local distributor down here, Quality Beverage, very supportive of the programming here on Speedway Heat. Let's do the driver introductions on the first row. Paul Richardson was 7th fastest here this afternoon. He starts in the pole position. He's going to be right alongside Dale Shaw, who drew 2nd, and also Dale was the 2nd fastest here this afternoon. Mike Olson in the Little Trees Car Freshener Chevrolet will be starting 3rd, the number 61. 4th position, Brian Chu set 6th fastest time. Brian Chu in the Buzz Chu Auto Group Chevrolet. And the 5th position is Kelly Moore, our Bud Pole winner. Kelly Moore in the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. And starting 6th will be Dave Dion, of course, last year's winner in the Berlin City Continental Paving Ford. 7th, the 2-time defending champion, Brad Layton out of Center Harbor, New York in the Burnham Boiler Chevrolet. Mike Johnson, the Rookie of the Year, Johnson Lumber Ford is starting in the 8th spot. The number 24, Mike Rowe out of Turner, Maine in the K&K Excavating Chevrolet. And rounding out the first 5 rows in the Tic Tac Chevrolet from Strong, Maine, the number 14, Tracy Gordon.
Yeah, Dave Dion, you know, I came for practice when the Busch North cars were here. Only about a dozen cars showed up, but as we go to green, Dave Dion, hardest working team here. They were in and out all day.
Dave Dion should be a contender here tonight. Let's see what Paul Richardson can do. We've watched Paul Richardson race just about everything you can race for an awfully long time. He's got a Jason Jambring chassis under that number 7, and he's got some good Ford power, and he's ready to go.
Yeah, Richardson last year wasn't even able to qualify, if I remember correctly, but the support that he's gotten has been a big help.
Followed closely behind by Dale Shaw in the guaranteed overnight delivery number 60. Dale Shaw always somebody to worry about when he's behind you and always somebody to worry about when he's in front of you because normally you can't catch him. Mike Olson still looking for that first elusive victory in the number 61 Little Trees Car Freshener Chevrolet.
Right now, the early action. Dale Shaw trying to get to the inside of Richardson. Way to do it if you can here at Seekonk Speedway.
Richardson got way up high, and he comes right back at the number 60 of Dale Shaw, staying right there on the outside. You can't scare Paul Richardson, and he'll just drive right along there with you, not willing to give up that second slot. If Paul's not careful, he's not going to have enough room to slide in there because Mike Olson's going to want to take over that position.
Dale Shaw has a reputation for not being the fastest qualifier in the world in Busch North. So when he can line up at the beginning of the race this close to the front, that really makes him the guy you got to look for.
Kelly Moore, fast time here this afternoon, under 13 seconds, 12.997. That's a new track record here at Seekonk. He's currently running in fourth, looking to put that Napa car up front.
He was the only car that was able to get in at under 13 seconds, too.
There's Kelly Moore right now with the Napa colors. Kelly back running a full season of Busch North racing.
That was also his 39th pole, and that is the Busch North record currently.
The man needs another trophy room. Of course, Kelly's son won recently at Oxford Plains Speedway in an AT&T race, the American Canadian Tour. 17 years old, took the first spot, and Beaver Dragon's son, Brent Dragon, finished second in that same race.
As the torches get passed, and as the laps cars get passed as well, because there goes Shaw on the outside of Doug Hurst. As we look at our battle for a second right now between Richardson and Olson, and they're coming up on Hurst as well. Not a lot of room to get out of the way. That's one way to do it. Let's make a Doug Hurst sandwich. And look at Kelly Moore on the inside of Richardson.
We've seen those Doug Hurst sandwiches, and sometimes the meat squirts out between the bread, and it's a mess on the track.
That's an interesting analogy you got going there, Dave.
Mike Olson and Kelly Moore off of 4. Here they come down the main stretch. Olson has been racing in this division how many years now without a victory? How many second places? How many second places does he have? I wonder. Berlin City Ford, Continental Paving, number 29, Dynamite Dave Dion.
Dion currently, I have him 5th place as he looks to get outside Richardson. Remember about Dave Dion, nobody's better at using the whole track than Dion is, especially here at Seekonk. We saw it before a year ago when he drove to victory.
So far, so good for our Busch North drivers here at Seekonk Speedway. The Budweiser 150, presented by Tic Tac and Land O'Lakes Cheese. Dale Shaw, guaranteed overnight delivery, going around Kerry Heath in the Aubuchon Hardware 04. Nice to see Kerry Heath in a race here this weekend. Kerry qualified here last year, as a matter of fact. And she is in a full season bid for the Rookie of the Year honors in the 04 Aubuchon Hardware machine.
So with the serious assistance of Aubuchon Hardware, she should be able to make a better effort this year. As we look at Olson and Kelly Moore looking to get inside him. That's our battle for second right now, the hot one on the track.
Kelly Moore moves it up to second and doing a great job here tonight. Fastest car out on the track. We'll get some lap times here for you in just a little bit. Black flag has come out. I believe that's going to be for the 43 of Doug Hurst. And we'll see if we see the 43 peel off the track here. We'll see it coming out again. That's where I think it's going. See Billy Ryder up there in the flag tower.
Kelly Moore again about to lap Barney McRae. And that'll be the only car for the moment between him and Shaw. Shaw's also closing in on some more traffic. There you see Doug Hurst getting out of the way.
Hurst was trying to make his entrance into the pits, and he was going just a little bit too fast.
Of course, that's an extremely difficult thing to do here at Seekonk. You basically have to take a sharp right turn.
Right. That's a little tough. So Doug trying to get off the track. So there goes Doug Hurst. Get to look at Mike Johnson and, of course, Tracy Gordon in the 14 Tic Tac machine.
Back to our leader, Dale Shaw.
Dale Shaw. There's always going to be traffic in your way here at Seekonk. There's no way around it, so you're going to have to work at it. You're not going to have a lot of clean racing room. And if you do, it's in short spurts.
The starter, Billy Wright, is going to have a left arm like Popeye from the waving the blue flag here. And really, is a lot of times that the lap cars can't get out of the way. Here you see a perfect example. As Shaw gets behind these two slower cars, there you see Eddie McDonald in the number 17, and that's the 41 car of Joey McCarthy.
Brian Chu from Mattatuck, New York. That's out on Long Island in the Buzz Chu Chevrolet, Buzz Chu Auto Group. Fallen a little further behind than his fourth starting position, but starting to recover as he gets on the tail of Brian Wall and the number 77 Walls Ford.
What a job Chu did to qualify as well as he did here today.
Turned a hot lap time of 13:105, and that car was just not that fast in any of the practices this afternoon. Went out, got two really, really good laps.
He was really working at it, too. It didn't look like the car came to him as much as he just went out there and made it happen, Dave.
The man could use a little bit of luck here tonight. Let's see what happens and where he's going to be here towards the end of the race. Hopefully he'll continue to go in the right direction. Dale Shaw once again. This is the 25 car of John Swanson III out of Maynard, Massachusetts, the Swanson Racing Pontiac. Swanson, in practice, looked pretty impressive. He put both left side tires down into that white line on the inside and kept it there for most of practice. Looked pretty fast. Did not do a whole heck of a lot of qualifying, but he did qualify just outside of the top 10 or so. There's your leader, Dale Shaw, coming up on Kippy Stockwell in the number 16.
When you talk about a guy who doesn't qualify well but wins as many races and runs as well as Dale Shaw, you know he's a guy that knows how to get through traffic. So, again, that's not a good omen for the guys who are trying to catch up to him.
Dale Shaw coming off a victory with the Pro Stock All-Stars Touring Series, a fairly new series here this year.
We're looking at Tracy Gordon there in the number 14 Tic Tac car. Tracy Gordon with one victory from the pole at Lee Speedway, then it finished with an 8th at New Hampshire International Speedway.
Tracy running 10th right now, too, Tom.
Tracy's the kind of guy that, you know, when he's running well, he's a threat to take the win, but I know he's wanted to be more consistent on a race-in, race-out basis, and that's something that team's still working on.
Stockwell now down a lap as Dale Shaw continues to dominate. Here's Matt Kobiluck in the number 40 Mohegan Sun Machine on the inside of Braden Bramscombe. And he bumped his way around Babe Bramscombe just a little bit. Little light taps here and there. Nice to see Babe Bramscombe back out here at Seekonk for the Budweiser 150.
Yeah, Matt Kobiluck, he's got the prettiest car out there, and he's one of the most aggressive drivers. So usually by the end of the race, it's kind of, you got to really work hard to read Mohegan Sun.
Especially off the front. Usually not a whole lot left. Brian Chu looks like he's getting ready to go a lap down, but not quite yet. As Dale Shaw can't get around, we've got a little lap traffic in the way there.
Travis Benjamin on the outside. They're going to make a Dale Shaw sub sandwich, I think.
Here comes Kelly Moore on the outside of Dale Shaw. You got to watch it. And we're going to have caution out on the raceway, I think, if Carrie Heath.
She's going into turn 2 right now. Came out of fourth, past the start-finish line. Didn't see exactly what happened, but it's a guess that, Ford collected another car. It tends to do that here at Seekonk.
She's got a cut tire on the Obashan hardware machine in the more tough rate for Carrie Heath. She's going to bring out the first caution of the evening here at Seekonk Speedway for the Budweiser 150, presented by Tic Tac and Land O'Lakes, amongst other sponsors. Bill Quirk has done a great job lining up some sponsorship for this racetrack and really has turned that around. Bill Quirk, of course, consultant folks here. Let's take a look at Carrie Heath once again here. Yeah, a little damage there. So I don't know if she hit the wall before that. I want to check the inside of a couple of the other cars.
Seekonk is tricky because when you come into turn 4, it looks like you got all the room in the world. And the wall kind of, the way the wall is made, in the corner itself there's a lot of room, but it narrows really quickly. Guys get, a little loose or go wide coming through 4, and then they find themselves in trouble real quickly.
Dale Shaw is leading your Budweiser 150 here at Seekonk. And the yellow came on lap number 38. We'll have the restart to our Budweiser 150 when we come back to Speedway Heat from Seekonk Speedway.
Speedway looking for our restart here in the Busch North Budweiser 150. Dale Shaw is bringing the cars up. Our leaders are on the inside, so right now Kelly Moore behind him is the second place car.
And the second place car is going to be Mike Olson, I believe. Mike Olson, not correct.
No, inside.
Inside.
Will you listen to me? Inside. Right now we got the lap cars on the outside, so we're looking at Dale Shaw, Kelly Moore behind him, and then Paul Richardson in third.
Thank you, Tom, for straightening me out there.
And then the guy we really want to mention is Dan Koeman, because he's lining up in fourth right now with Martin Truex behind him, and he's kind of asserted himself while we were paying attention to Shaw and Moore.
Dave Dion, Brian Chu, Barney McRae, Billy Penfold all went into the pits during that caution. Penfold lost 2 laps while in the pits. And here comes Dale Shaw and Kelly Moore. Paul Richardson, Mike Olson.
Moore looks to the inside. That's the thing to do when you come out of fourth.
Wow, how much lower can he go on the track? Here he comes in that Napa machine. Kelly Moore on a mission tonight here in Seekonk in the Budweiser 150.
And you can see now Dale Shaw realizes he's got to stay really low and tight coming out of fourth.
Single file throughout the field all the way down to about 10th place. And it's still Dale Shaw able to motor off those corners. He's getting a little bit more bite, Tom, off the corners than I think Kelly is. And able to pull away just a little bit, just enough to keep Kelly on his tail. And Kelly coming in on the inside again. Shaw once again motors over. Inside, off of turn 2.
This is the way you pass at Seekonk Speedway. I was actually talking to Mike Johnson before the race. You don't just set a guy up and pass him. You've got to take laps to get through, get around, get inside.
Rest of the field, the 38 Bay Branscombe is off the track. Kelly Moore for the lead. Here comes Kelly Moore in through 3 and 4. Kelly Moore has the lead. Paul Richardson trying to follow him. He can't do it, but he's got enough there in that number 7 Bellingham sheet metal car to get on the inside of Dale Shaw and make things real difficult for the number 60. And there goes the 41.
Joey McCarthy spins it right in turn 2. Whoa!
Able to get back out on the track, but just before all the traffic came.
That was seriously ugly. There was no yellow flag on that. He pulled out right in front of the leaders. Bad mistake by him. Fortunately, it wasn't costly.
Kelly Moore has a 2-car length lead over Dale Shaw. Paul Richardson is running one heck of a race right now in that number 7 car, Tom.
And when I said it wasn't costly, I meant as far as any kind of accidents, but it was definitely costly to Shaw. Now we see Kelly Moore was able to take advantage of it. Paul Richardson is now challenging Shaw. He's going to keep to the inside, try to do the same thing that Moore was looking to do.
Mike Olson biding his time, staying right there with the race leaders, not losing anything. And things have settled down once again. We move back to around the 6th position. You're going to see Martin Truex Jr. starting to come up on the outside of that crowd. We'll take a look at that here in just a few minutes. Can't count him out. Shaw, Richardson, Tracy Gordon on the inside of Martin Truex Jr.
The problem right there for Gordon is Kip Stockwell in the 16 in front of him. He's opening the door to Martin Truex on the outside, as you can see Truex's car, the 56.
And Kip doesn't tend to like to go any further back than he has to.
Well, Gordon finally said, hey, I can't follow this guy.
Kip Stockwell is down a lap. Martin Truex Jr. Stockwell getting the passing flag from Billy Ryder. Here comes Tracy Gordon, Dale Shaw. Battle for second is brewing and getting hot with Paul Richardson, the wily veteran. Tom, we've got a guest in the broadcast booth here tonight. Veteran racetrack announcer. You've heard him on New Hampshire International Speedway. Pete Falcone. Peter, welcome back to Seekonk.
Thank you, Dave. Tom, great to be back. One of my favorite racetracks in the world, as a matter of fact, Seekonk Speedway.
Seekonk is one of those great places where I think we can get a little level on Peter's microphone there, too, on the inside of the booth. He's saying Seekonk, one of your favorite tracks to come to and watch a race. It's a pretty tight little bull ring down here, Pete.
Yeah, you'll notice that a lot of these cars, well, actually all of them on the field, they're basically turning left all the way around. They turn it into a big circle and just barely get those tires straight before they got to turn again. And the guy that you're watching, Kelly Moore, is sticking like glue. He came through the lap traffic before the caution on lap 38, following Dale Shaw, the early leader. And I'll tell you, he brings that car right in tight through the turn, and he's going to be tough to beat, as we see Tracy Gordon move up one position over Martin Truex Jr. That is the battle a little further back in the pack. Right, moving into 5th spot, I believe, at that point.
Tracy Gordon has got his mirror full of Martin Truex. Truex staying right there as well, Peter. Somebody not to be discounted early on in the race. He's a very consistent driver, probably showing much more patience than his years. Battle for second coming up now with Paul Richardson.
Well, Richardson, of course, is a guy who knows his way around a track like Seekonk. He's driven just about every kind of race car with 4 wheels on it. Super modifieds for a long time and modifieds, and of course he's a star for many years at the Star Speedway, very similar to this layout at Seekonk. He's got the advantage on the inside, although Dale Shaw's not about to give it up.
Dale Shaw's not going to lay down and do anything, and look at this battle right here for second place. Shaw not wanting to give up anything. The wily veteran of Paul Richardson, the Bellingham sheet metal number 7.
Well, sometimes the inside isn't so much the advantage as Shaw able to get a little more momentum out of the turn. Richardson has to wait about, a half a second longer to get on the gas coming out of the turn, and that allows Shaw to get away. Now they got some lap traffic to use as picks to work around on the outside there.
Marty McRae in the number 5.
One of the things that, excuse me, Dave, Dale Shaw, one of the things that worked for him in the race is the fact, and we talked about him not qualifying well, he basically ignores qualifying. He always sets his car up for the race. Practice is all setting the car up for the race. It's definitely paying off right now.
Dave Darling, a local down here at Seekonk and a local favorite, having a good race here tonight. He had kind of a tough start to the 2001 racing season in that number 52. Ran as a rookie full-time last year.
And he qualified 11th here, which I believe is his best qualification in any Busch North race for the second-year driver, so he's real happy with that.
Just ahead of Darling is the number 55. It's the Burnham Boilers machine. Brad Layton, 2-time defending champion, working his way up.
That's the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th right there. Actually, 7th with Brad Layton and Martin Truex Jr. as they've just crossed the halfway point of this event.
This is good experience for Darling, too, because one of the things I talked to him last week, one of the things he was saying is, I need to learn to drive in long races. I don't want to just drive. I want to head right for the front, and it's hurting me. So he's starting to realize, and I think you're seeing a little of that now. You can see the patience of Darling on the track.
It's not a 40-lap pro stock event, and that's one of the things that Dave has realized. And you're going to see a lot of things out of Dave. Nice kid, gets terribly frustrated with himself when he has problems, but that's the mark of a true sportsman because he can only get better from here.
Just a short track, but you can use the car up pretty fast if you don't use your head here. Of course, the track surface, not as bad as some racetracks, but it's got its bumps, and because you're always turning left and going over bumps, you're scrubbing some of the rubber off the tires. So again, if you don't play that conservative game in a race a length of 150 laps like this one, you're not going to be able to work your way to the front.
Paul Richardson back on the tail and hot on the heels of Dale Shaw. He kind of let Dale go by before. Let Dale wear out the goodie off the tires there. And now Richardson is ready to strike back at that number 7 machine on the inside. We've got contact between the 77 and 24. The 24 car is Michael Rowe out of Turner, Maine at the K&K excavation machine.
And of course, Brian Wall in the 77. This year sponsored by Wall Sport. Those two cars are going at it. Again, you're going to try to pass somebody on the outside. You got to be really patient, and you got to be able to hang out there for a while.
All bunched up. We're following this field, this group of cars throughout the field. And the 24 hanging in there. So Michael Rowe. Mike Rowe's been around for a while as well. Coming back and see what's up with the Paul Richardson Dale Shaw show. And Peter, how long can Dale drive a car like that?
Well, again, if he's got it set up to run in that second groove, he can drive it like that all night long. I thought the way Kelly captured him after the restart and ran right by him, that maybe Dale had used up a lot of the car in the first 38 laps before the caution, but he's got it right where he wants it, and right now in clear running with no lap traffic right in front of him, he's able to put some distance between himself and Paul Richardson.
And again, this track, it's a very coarse, rough surface. It's old, no tires. You know, you can't go and do a routine tire change. You got to live with the tires you got. So you really don't want to get into a battle with one other guy. You want to be able to pace yourself, but boy, Richardson isn't giving him that opportunity. Kelly Moore, on the other hand, he's just on rails. Nobody chasing him right now, patiently picking his way through traffic, and nobody's closing on him. He's really in command at the moment.
Working his way around the lap car of Babe Branscombe in the number 38. And Kelly Moore, the Napa-powered machine, up on the tail of Matt Kobieluk. That's the Mohegan Sun-sponsored machine. And again, we've seen a little contact there on the number 40. A couple of marks there on that number 40 car.
Yeah, well, we talked about that a little. It'll look nice for the next race when they head to Holland, but right now he'll use it up.
Now, between you two guys, you know, how old is this track surface? Has it ever been redone before?
That's a good question.
I'd say you're going back to the 60s at least.
Yeah.
It's certainly a different configuration than its original design. The track was widened out. I believe, Tom, if you get to the outside of this track, it's actually a third of a mile if you go the outside and a quarter of a mile if you go the inside. That's how wide this track is, but something that the Vendetti family did many years ago, of course, to allow cars to get up out of the way, and if they lose it, they can spin up high on the racetrack and not cause a pileup or certainly cut down on the number of caution periods. There's Dave Dion, who's on the move. Now, he started in the back because he made a pit stop under the caution. He's knocking on the door to get back into the top 10.
Dave Dion hot on the heels of Dale Quarterly in the Land O'Lakes machine. They're all trying to get around Barney McRae. Dave Dion, Dale Quarterly. There's Barney in the number 5. Brian Horn, the number 9. They've got that looks like a Dodge car, but it is not. It is a Pontiac.
We can catch the nose of that car. They actually painted it up like an Intrepid, but we're not fooled. You know, Dave Dion started this season saying he was just going to run short tracks. As we go back to that battle for second.
Problem is in turn 3. The 77, Brian Wall, Dennis Demers in the 86, and the 24 of Mike Rowe get together. Caution on the raceway.
That was a good battle going on there, too, between Rowe and Brian Wall. Looks like Rowe might have gotten the worst of it. They got together in that turn, but I'll tell you, they both got sideways right in front of some of the front runners that were moving into to turn them into lap cars. That was a scary moment.
Fortunately, not a real big pileup, a little bit of damage. It looks doesn't look too serious. Rowe will be able to go into the pits. He might lose a little lap or two in the pits, but a chance to get back into the race as well. Not too terribly serious as we look at the damage and the tire rubbing. And let's take a look at that again. We did catch that with our fantastic camera crew here tonight.
This caution, as you see the yellow flag there, this is lap 99. This race is moving right along, but we're a little late to figure that one out, but certainly it looks like Rowe caught the worst of it, like you said, Pete.
And Dennis Demers had to come to a complete stop in the turn, and I'll tell you, he had to have both feet on the brake to make a stop like that after coming down the backstretch.
Excellent camera work from Greg Weir, Warren Smith, Jim Darlington, Steve Russo, Vicky Caravello, and of course our spotter Becky Ben joining us here in the booth tonight as well. And we're going to take a break and come back when we have the restart ready and when the drivers are ready in their proper running order of the Budweiser 150, our second visit here to Seekonk Speedway. Back with Jack in the Budweiser 150. Kelly Moore, Dale Shaw, Paul Richardson, Mike Olson, and Tracy Gordon, 1 through 5. A lot of pit action as Dan Koeman went in the 53. Billy Penfold in the 0. Barney McRae, Dennis Demers, Martin Truex, and Brian Wall. And they're going to hold Brian Wall 1 lap, probably for speeding in the pit. So a lot of action on a very short caution, Tom Ring.
Yeah, a lot of action, and we look at Kelly Moore right now. Unfortunate for Wall, but everybody was in a hurry to get out. Didn't want to miss too much. Kelly Moore again now. He's already opened about a 3-car length lead. You can see Dale Shaw just in the back. Travis Benjamin's going to provide a little interference there, but first of all, Shaw has to reel him in.
That's Travis Benjamin, a rookie in the Irving Oil Hershey chocolate machine. What a nice combination for sponsorship.
And right now, he's taking advantage of this opportunity to run at the speed the leader's moving at. So this is good for this young rookie. Last time this guy drove at Seekonk Speedway, he came down here and won an open Pro Stock show, and not many people do that.
Travis Benjamin staying right up there with Kelly Moore. And as long as he stays up to speed, they won't give him the passing flag because NASCAR won't put you down any further back if you're racing up to speed. Now, of course, if you're in the way, they're going to ask you to move over, have a little driver courtesy.
Well, we're about to find out because Dale Shaw's reeling Benjamin in pretty quickly. There you see them as we go back to Kelly Moore in the lead. No move over flag yet, but it looks like Dale Shaw's got the inside anyway. There we're watching Mike Johnson being chased by John Swanson. This is back in the field.
That's your Rookie of the Year, Mike Johnson. Also going into this race, as we mentioned earlier, he is your points leader. And nobody was more surprised than Mike Johnson himself being in the points lead with the third race of the season.
Well, his first couple of races last year, he didn't do well. Took him like Seekonk before he ran strongly. He wanted to change that. He has. He's a serious contender in this division now.
Battle for second again is heating up with Paul Richardson on the inside of Dale Shaw. Can come up with that here in just a second. There you go. The Bellingham sheet metal driver on the inside. He takes over second place from Dale Shaw. So once again, Paul Richardson in the hunt. Let's see if he can chase down Kelly Moore. And our guest in the broadcast booth tonight, Pete Falcone, you've seen Paul Richardson do some pretty crazy things with cars. What do you think? Is he a contender tonight for Kelly?
He's got it happening this year. He had a great qualifying effort today. The last time out at New Hampshire, again, great qualifying effort for Paul Richardson. You can safely call Paul Richardson a veteran because he's been around a long time, but I'll tell you, he's manhandling that thing tonight. He's on his way to catch Kelly Moore, but he's got a way to go to do that. Looks like a spin out of turn 2 over there.
We're going to have caution out on the raceway as we took a glance at Tracy Gordon and Dale Shaw. And we'll get a look at that as McCarthy in the number 41. Joey McCarthy out of Randolph, New Jersey. That's the Manning's USA Chevrolet bringing out the third caution flag of the evening here at Seekonk Speedway.
Joey's been struggling a little today. We've seen him turn it around. That's the second time at least.
Just a tick. And when we take a look at that Land O'Lakes car, I just got a glimpse at it out of our peripheral vision. Quite a little set of rubber marks on the side of that car, Peter.
Well, as they all do, which is so typical of this short track racing, that you got to rub right in there, side by side, and you're putting your left front right on the door of the right side door of the guy you're trying to get around, because obviously you want to stay as tight to the inside as you can. So a lot of these guys with the rubber donuts on the side of their cars here tonight.
Lap number 117, the third caution of the night. And when we come back, we'll have the restart of the Budweiser 150. We're back at Seekonk Speedway. Kelly Moore and Paul Richardson, 1 and 2, lined up to take the green flag. Jerry Venn had a chance to talk to Paul Richardson earlier. Jerry?
Thanks a lot, Dave. I'll tell you, we've got one happy guy here right now, Paul Richardson. You've got the point out there tonight. How important is that to sit right on the pole?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's very important because you can be a little off, and they got to go a little faster to go by us. So if we're somewhat close, you're going to get your top. The top 3 that did qualify, they are running fast, so they'll probably get by her as the race wears down. But we qualified 5th fast time and then redrew pole, which is right. But I think that it's a big advantage because a guy that was just a little bit off, he's going to have to really struggle to get by her. You got to be going a 10th faster out here. So I think if you protect the inside, we could be in pretty good shape.
Paul Richardson's smiling. He's ready to go. Dave?
Thanks, Jerry. With just under 30 laps to go in the Budweiser 150. What a show by Kelly Moore and Paul Richardson.
And in the late stages of the race, we'll see who saved enough to make it to the front. I'll tell you, Tracy Gordon's been on a charge in the Tic Tac 14. He's staying right there with Paul Richardson now. And the guy that's in danger of possibly going down a lap is Dave Dion, who's just in front of the leaders. He's been in and out of the pits a couple times with each of the cautions. He was expecting a big night tonight, the defending winner of this race. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No, Dave Dion has certainly had his problems here tonight, Peter, and it's nice that he's still out there on the lead lap. Like to see him finish on the lead lap tonight, but Dave, he'll be back at the short bull ring. Again, he doesn't get too discouraged. You either hit the setup or you don't. And Dave, a very good competitor, and it's nice to see him going for pretty much the full season here this year in the Busch North Series for 2001.
Now we go back to Kelly Moore, but the battle is for second right now because Tracy Gordon indeed has reeled Richardson in. There you see it. Amazing job by Tracy Gordon. He's one of the few cars out here that isn't battle-scarred almost beyond recognition. He's got a few bends there in the back. But another battle we're going to show you here. There you go, Mike Olson with Dale Shaw.
And look at Olson go. Shaw hanging again on the outside. Shaw's just putting that car everywhere he wants to, and it's not a problem. We got a glimpse of Jamie Obey there, three-time Busch North champion, and the Team Knievel number 67.
This is top 10 action, too. These guys are like battling for 5th place.
Jamie Obey is followed by Dave Darling in the 52, Mike Johnson in the 9. Brian Hoare looks like he could be the rookie of the race if he can finish in the top 10 here tonight at Seekonk Speedway.
Mike Johnson, he's got a car that looks pretty ragged right now, but for him to be hanging in like he is, and Darling has to be really happy right now.
We're in the closing laps. Pete Falcone, thanks for joining us in the booth tonight.
My pleasure, Dave. Tom, it's been great, and awesome racing here at Seekonk. Of course, the Busch North Series always putting on a great race. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for stopping by here this evening. Pete Falcone, veteran broadcast announcer and race announcer from Lee USA Speedway, family ran Westboro Speedway for years, worked at Stafford Motor Speedway with the likes of Mike Joy and others. Nice to have him here in the booth with us here tonight, Tom. There's Paul Richardson. And, of course, Tracy Gordon. Gordon is right there.
Richardson's still able to hold off Gordon. Doing a heck of a job right now.
Richardson and Tracy Gordon.
Gordon keeps looking to the outside. Richardson's not a guy that makes it easy to pass as we go back to our leader right now. Martin Truex is down another lap. Kelly Moore right now, we are looking at probably 6, 7 car lanes, something in that neighborhood between Kelly Moore and Paul Richardson.
You know how much old school driving we're seeing right now, Tom? I mean, this is the way it used to be.
Paul Richardson, man, that guy, he has 5 super modified championships, 3 Pro Stock championships. At some point in the distant past, he was the ACT Rookie of the Year.
Kelly Moore also out there. I remember watching Kelly eons ago. Here we go.
Richardson seems to have fallen back, though. Sorry, I said good things about him.
Don't jinx him now.
But he's fallen back significantly, and now Tracy Gordon finds himself in second as we go further back in the pack. Looking at Dave Dowling putting Doug Hurst another lap down, and Mike Johnson right on his tail. They've been maintaining that position for a few laps.
This is a very quick running of the Budweiser 150 here at Seekonk. Jerry Benn had a chance to talk to Paul Ray. Hold on, before we do that, Dave Darling spins in the number 52. Tough break for the kid. Brings up the 4th caution of the afternoon. And he got tagged. Dave Darling. Oh, my goodness. And they're not going to like that here at Seekonk. This is the family's home track. And he was running so very well. I believe he was running about 7th position. And it looked like Mike Johnson got into him. And we don't know if that was a racing incident or not. We'll check with our NASCAR officials here in just a few minutes to see if there's going to be any type of penalty on the number 96. And as we did not exactly see that clearly, Tom, did you get a better look at it than I did?
No, I didn't. We'll see if we have a replay of this.
Of course, our spotters are saying he got driven through by the 96. Look at the damage on the 96 as he comes off of turn 4. And that's what we do have our excellent camera crew here. So let's take a look at the monitor and see what we can see.
Here we go.
Now, he was already around. He was around, it looks like.
We're a little late on this one.
Well, kind of hard to tell. He was around, but we don't know if Johnson got off of it after he tagged him or not.
Most of the damage to Johnson's car is on the right front, so it looks like he might have been trying to get underneath him. And
yeah, racing incident. So, caution again. It's going to take the scorers just a few moments here to get the drivers back in their proper running order with just the closing laps to go. And let's go down with Jerry Benn. He had a chance to talk to Paul Richardson. Jerry?
Paul, in light of what we've seen in the last year or so in NASCAR with some injuries and also some fatalities, also you've been involved yourself in some pretty serious crashes a short while ago. Are you looking a little bit closer at your car now? Are there items that you're picking out that you might not have picked out before?
Yes, I am. The biggest thing with these cars, of course, you know, you run a carburetor, and there's a lot of mechanical movement devices there. So I run a kill switch right on my steering wheel. I have my thumb right next to it. That's my biggest fear. I've had a couple throttle sticks over the years, and so that's what I do to protect myself.
Green flag is out. Kelly Moore, Tracy Gordon, Paul Richardson, Mike Olson, and Jamie Obey. The first 5 drivers in the closing laps of the Budweiser 150 from Seekonk Speedway. Here's Tracy Gordon on the inside. Tracy Gordon and Kelly Moore. Gordon gets into Kelly just a little bit. Kelly hangs on off of 4 down the front straightaway.
As we see, Tracy Gordon has done a fine job today. Now challenging for the lead, and he looks like he's got some car to do it here.
Paul Richardson looking for his best finish of the season in the number 7 Bellingham sheet metal car.
We do want to mention Mike Johnson was not penalized. We didn't see what happened, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt here. Dave Darling also lined up at the rear of the field. He had the right to line up at the end of the lead lap. Here's the white flag.
1 lap to go. And this is it for Kelly Moore, Tracy Gordon, and Paul Richardson. Billy Reiner with the checkered flag in hand. Kelly Moore is the winner of the Budweiser 150.
Unofficially, Tracy Gordon in second, Paul Richardson in third.
Mike Olson and Jamie Obey, pretty much the way they started. And, of course, Mike Johnson in the 96 will finish 6th. And as you were saying, Tom, that was just a racing incident. Dave Darling did have the opportunity to line up a little further up, but he decided to go to the tail of the lead lap and stay there. Maybe his car isn't running right after that contact. Just finish the race, park it. What's the difference in those few spots on the track? Maybe a few points.
Well, it would be according to how many cars were on the lead lap. He
Right.
lined up at the rear of the field, so he gave himself away some position. That might have just been confusion, too.
And that may, well, yeah, we don't know what he was thinking. Kelly Moore is a happy camper tonight.
There you go. There's Kelly Moore taking his victory lap.
First time in a couple of years, May 16th, 1999 at Thompson Speedway was the last time Kelly saw victory lane. Well, that's almost 2 years exactly, give or take a few days.
Goodness, that's kind of a surprise to me. I didn't realize it's been that long for Kelly.
Kelly takes a lot of poles. Saw that tonight. The pole sitter.
Let's take another look at that finish now. No? Look at Tracy get a little bit sideways. He was giving it all up there, trying to do what he could.
And the folks at Napa have got to be happy tonight.
And Kelly Moore, I think, is real happy that Napa's come aboard.
He's really come a long way. They were a temporary sponsor last year in the 2000 racing season. And this year, a little bit more support for the driver of the 47. A very, very wise investment. 20th win for Kelly Moore, and that is a new Busch North record. 20 wins. He's also won the most money. He has the most poles. What else can you win?
He the man.
He is the man.
He the Busch North man.
Kelly Moore. What a great night for Kelly.
Hey, is that a case they just put on the roof?
Yeah, it is. Wow. Check to see if that was on ice.
Must be those faucets.
Jerry Venn is hovering in victory lane right now.
Okay, here he comes. Thanks, Dave. The pride of Scarborough, Maine. Kelly Moore. Kelly, congratulations. Great run out there tonight.
Thank you, Jerry. These guys have worked really hard. They put in a lot of hours, and I just want to thank the people from Napa and Maine, Lube, and Pennzoil for standing behind us. We didn't have a very good car when we got here today. We've tuned on it all day long. We've thrown a lot of things at it, and it's paid off. And it's all these guys behind me.
Kelly, you ever persisted out there on the racetrack? Was there any time you didn't think that you could do it tonight?
Well, once we got in the lead, I felt the car was pretty strong. I saw Tracy and Dale back there, and you never know what someone's holding in their hand. So, but these guys behind me is the guys that made it all happen. I couldn't do it all alone. And we had a tall order to stand up to last weekend. My son won, and I hadn't won yet, so it was a little bit of rivalry going there.
Okay, that's Kelly Moore from Scarborough, Maine, the winner of the 150 here at Seekonk.
Kelly Moore, 20th victory, and it comes to the Budweiser 150 from Seekonk. When we come back to Speedway Heat, we'll have the finishing order for you, and we'll be back in just a moment from Seekonk Speedway on Speedway Heat, Budweiser 150 at Seekonk Speedway. And Tom, this did not happen during the Bud 150.
Despite the expectations of a lot of people, we were very lucky. We had great weather tonight, and what a great race.
I want to bet on this. I told people this weekend we were going to get this race in, and really, we were not ahead of schedule, so I win the bet. Unfortunately, I bet with people from New York who I'm sure are long gone now.
But they hightailed it out of here.
We had a great time. We had a great show from start to finish. Probably one of the most exciting races early on in the season. Tom's got the top 5 for us.
Yes, Kelly Moore, of course, our winner tonight, leads the Busch North Series in victories. Tracy Gordon comes in second. A great job in the number 14 Tic Tac car. Paul Richardson, what an impressive show that Paul put on tonight. The grizzled racing veteran comes home in third. Mike Olson, fourth place, another fine finish for Mike, but he's still looking for his first Busch North victory. And finally in fifth, a very quiet, business-like job by Jamie Albee to come in fifth. Stayed out of, we didn't see much of him all night, but then finishes in fifth place.
And, of course, Kelly Moore posts his 20th victory and 40th Bud Pole Award, both records. And he was telling me he had to build a bigger room before his rec room to put all the trophies in. He keeps this up all year. He's going to have a lot of building bills coming in.
Well, he's also the Busch North money winner of all time, so it's easier to find a place to store that.
Seekonk Speedway, the home of some of the best racing anywhere in New England and the Northeast. We will be back here again this summer. We'll be taping a race for broadcast on